Um, Recap/review of the second round of NBA playoffs. So, so obviously I gave my picks of who I thought was going to, obviously advance and get to the Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals. I went 2 for 2. Um, with the Heat and Knicks series, I uh, had picked the Knicks to advance, but the Heat, won the series. I was obviously incorrect about my pick. I'm gonna take accountability on that, and the Heat definitely surprised me. They came out. Jimmy Butler continued, his great play. Um, the role players on the team, especially Kyle Lowry, played well. Bam played well. Caleb Martin, um, and Coach Spoelstra, Eric Spoelstra's coach. He game planned well. He made some good adjustments. Um, I was critical of his his uh his coaching and some of his lineups and how he was doing things. Um, throughout this year, and I got to give him props, man. He's definitely taken the Heat a lot farther than I had expected, and has done a great job, you know, throughout the series, with his coaching, making adjustments, having a good game plan. And I got to give him kudos for that, and acknowledge that. So, but, the Knicks, they, you know, were inconsistent. I think Jalen Brunson had a great series, showed why he's, likely going to be, um, he had an all-star year, all NBA caliber year this year. I know that, this season up and coming, that's gonna be an expectation coming in for Jalen Brunson, given the play he's played this year. So it's great to see, seeing him, you know, continue to show that he, can be a star in the NBA, and you know, take on bigger roles and responsibilities on an NBA franchise team. And it's been pretty good watching. I know he's gained a lot of fans and believers, this past season of his game. RJ Barrett had a couple good games. Randall was in and out of lineup. I don't think he kind of got a rhythm while he was out there. It didn't seem like he was able to really catch a rhythm, and kind of hindered their play overall, because I think they needed him to really have a great series for them to, to have won that series. But he had a subpar series, and so ultimately they lost. And so you know probably got to add some new guys to the roster. Got a nice little clique of guys, like I said. Jalen Brunson really showing that he can be a star, all-star player in this league. And so yeah. Then Denver Nuggets and Phoenix Suns. I had chose the Phoenix Suns to advance. Obviously, that did not happen. I was incorrect about my pick on that. And the Denver Nuggets actually won the series, um, and are advancing to the Western Conference. Jokic was just unstoppable. Was just having his way offensively. Just couldn't be stopped. He was, triple doubles, average triple double throughout the series with like 30 points, and he he just really showed that he's the MVP and he's a superstar in this league. And the role players, the other, Jamal Murray had a couple great games. Aaron Gordon, Porter Jr., Bruce Brown, all these guys, had some good games. And you know, uh, with Phoenix, they uh, Devin Booker was just, you know, was just on fire, you know, throughout the series. He, the last game kind of was well, he didn't play too well the final game, but he was on fire throughout the series. KD, followed suit, played well throughout the series, had a couple 30-point games. Um, and they I think they really just needed the role players, the guys around outside them to really show up. They had Chris Paul was injured. They had one game where Landry Shamet really showed up and played big for them, but other than that, they didn't really have too much from bench production. um as a whole. I think they just really needed the bench to show up for them. And then defensively, they weren't too great of a defensive team. They're primarily leaning on the play of Booker and KD to just kind of go off. But like I said, you need the other guys. DeAndre Ayton wasn't didn't really have a dominating series. So they felt short. I think they got to just get a better bench. Add some depth to their team, and they should be they'd be right back in the mix next year. And then you got Boston Celtics 76ers. I was correct in terms of my pick. Boston Celtics won the series against the 76ers. Jason Tatum had an incredible game. Game 7 had an incredible game, 51 points, 13 rebounds, man, just dominated the game. The game before, he had a slow start to the game. First 3 quarters, he was kind of slow. And then the fourth quarter, he hit about 4 3-pointers just in a row. And it really, I think, was kind of like the momentum that he kind of came into that game 7, and it's, just good, shout out to Jason Tatum and, still maintaining his confidence, even with having a slow start and, kind of missing, just kind of off and things, kind of, still maintain his confidence and, kept shooting it. And, obviously, shots started falling. So, shout out to Jason Tatum on that. And, Jaylen Brown dropped the series, played really well. Uh, you know, Smart, Brogdon, they play well. Um, I think for the 76ers, there were just some inconsistencies, um, in the play of their superstars. You had the games, 2 games where James Harden had about 40 plus, and then the others kind of didn't play too well. Um, wasn't playing at a superstar caliber level. Same with Embiid, had about a couple games where I think like maybe 1 or 2 games where he was, dominating, and then the rest he was, average player. And so, you need, obviously the playoffs, you need the superstar, your superstars to have, to carry you, to lead you, and to win games for you. And they gotta, have dominant performances, you know, every game. You need them to do that every game. And they were, they didn't were unable to do that. And so ultimately, they did not win the series. And so I think they should got a nice group of guys. I just think maybe um, you know, they have a nice group. Which they made the news that Doc Rivers got fired. Um, I'm not sure if that's should be necessary change. Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to see. But they have a nice crew of guys. Maybe some bench pieces or so. But yeah. And then lastly, um, between the Lakers and the Warriors, I was correcting my pick between the two. I had picked Lakers to advance, and they did. Lakers won the series. Um, AD played well. Very well. In a couple games. Really was good defensively. LeBron showed up. Each and every game you had. Uh, whether it's D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Schroeder, you know, show up and have some Lonnie Walker, show up and have some, good games, to help them. Uh, you know, it's just been, the help of the role players and the guys around LeBron and AD that I think has really helped them throughout, the playoffs and just like the run that they've had. After that trade deadline, um, the Warriors, it just, they didn't shoot it that well. Jordan Poole had a rough run, had a rough series, and ultimately they were dependent on him on Jordan Poole in terms of his contribution um, to the team in terms of his scoring ability. Averaging at least around 20 points a game, but he didn't have a good series. Didn't shoot it that well, and so did the rest. Obviously Steph is going to do his thing. But that's expected. It's, Steph Curry, but the rest of the squad, Clay did well. The rest of the squad didn't really shoot it that well, so I think. And then obviously size and couldn't wasn't a good matchup, like I said and initially for against the Lakers. And so uh um they were unable to win, but obviously it's a championship team. For me, I think they don't need to probably just add a couple pieces. Just kind of talk about getting rid of Pocket, getting rid of Jordan Poole, and things like that. I just think that's too. That's just prisoner of the moment. We've seen Jordan Poole over the past 2 years really elevate his game. Show that he's a six-man starter in the league, averaging around 20 points a game. Um, he can do that. So he had a rough series, and didn't it happens to it happens. You know what I mean? And so I would just suggest that Jordan Poole you know hang his head high and keep working on his game, and he'll be right back in it at it next year with them. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, and I'm sure next they're going the shots are going to fall at some point. So no, I don't think that they should get rid of Jordan Poole. Obviously it's NBA, it's a league. I mean, it's a business and stuff. So if a deal comes up and it's they think it's beneficial or whatever, they gotta do what they gotta do. But I don't think they need to get rid of Jordan Poole. They need to resign, find a way to, the Draymond and Poole thing. I don't know really the status of the relationship, whatever. But you want to bring back Draymond. Obviously, he's one of the core pieces to their franchise. Um, and hopefully, um, they can add some new guys, some new guys on free agency or something, and you know they'd be right back in the mix. So you know, pretty. It was definitely a nice you know round of games, and so obviously you gotta get to this next round.